Tolon constituency and the deputy minority whip in Ghana's parliament. Habib, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Your colleague in parliament, who is the majority chief whip, Roxy Nelson Dafiamakpa, wants the speaker to declare the Kpandai seat vacant because of the ruling from the Tamale High Court.
Good evening, Sami. The call by the majority chief whip is wrong. Parliament, as an institution or as an arm of government, does not have the right within the constitution to declare a seat vacant. So if there was any injunction against the member being a member of parliament, then we could say that he is not supposed to be in parliament. But the ruling of the Tamale High Court, which the member in question have appealed against and filed a stay of execution of the order of the High Court. And for that matter, there is nothing barring him from being the member of parliament. And he's still the member of parliament for the good people of Kpandai.
For Roxy Nelson Dafiamakpa, so far as the court has ordered a rerun, and that means that obviously he cannot hold himself as an MP, and so he should not be accorded all the custody that he's supposed to be. Because today, for instance, he was supposed to, make his statement or argue his case out on the 2026 budget statement. But because of this issue, he was not allowed to make those comments on the floor of parliament. You think as a minority, you should not work out this thing immediately so you resolve it?
His thinking is very wrong, and he has forgotten that 4 years ago, on the 7th of January 2021, when the Asim J.C. Kwesin, now currently the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, when there was an injunction of him even being sworn in as Member of Parliament, the clerk of Parliament was sworn in, was served. He read the writ of sermon of the injunction from the court, of which the then minority leader, Honorable Habib Iddrisu, argued seriously that if the member in question is in Parliament, even though he's aware that there was an injunction against him, he can be sworn in. And if there are other issues, that is contempt of Parliament, which is a criminal issue, then he can face the music himself. So what has changed? In the case of Honorable Martin Yindam, there is no injunction of him being called a member of Parliament. And for that matter, the argument of Honorable Roxanne defeats the purpose of Parliament. Parliament, we don't bar people from being members of Parliament until otherwise. So he has appealed against it. There's no injunction against him. There's a stay of execution on the ruling of the High Court. And even, mind you, there was no even proper ruling. Because when I say proper ruling, the judgment, the written judgment, the court says that it will be available on Friday. So on what basis?
Your boss, which is the minority leader, held a press conference today and said some, wild words against the country's judiciary as far as this ruling from the Tamale High Court is concerned. You think those words were not too harsh?
Yeah, I don't think they are too harsh. That was an animal farm ruling. And mind you, before the ruling, we have already picked signal from the ground. And even 3 days to the ruling, people in Kpandai were already sharing on various platforms that there's going to be a runoff in the constituency, and for that matter, they should prepare that there's going to be a rerun. And a member of the petitioner was asking for the relief of the court in 41 polling stations in question. Why declare a 152 polling station that it should be rerun? So it is a clear indication that it was an animal farm ruling. It's a kangaroo court that they have tried. They have tried to, as much as they can, to be able to take the seat from the MPP. He won the election very clearly with a margin of 3,723 or so, or over 3,700 votes that he has won the election with. It is not a case of an election where you have won with some 1,000 or 500 or something. But because they are just bent in making sure that they take the seat, that is why this kind of ruling has happened. And it is a very bad precedent that we are setting in this country, that you go to election, you have won with over 3,000 margin, you have been declared by Electoral Commission mandated to declare such results, and because someone thinks that I can just go to court and get a summon before the whole thing is done, then you get a judgment with the effect that the whole entire constituency should be rerun. The honourable member, even though we respect the decision of the court, but we strongly and vehemently against that, and for that matter, we have appealed and filed a stay of execution. But this is a very bad precedent to the development of our democracy. It is very bad to the image of the judiciary, and it is very bad for the parliamentary democracy that we are enjoying in Ghana.
What options are available for the minority as we speak? Because from the look of things, the NDC, which is the majority side, wants to indeed reduce your numbers, and they will do everything within their power to win the seat because they claim that they won the election.
Yes, in this case, the seats still belong to us. We have Honorable Martin Hindem, who is a legitimate member of parliament for the good people of Kpandai. The good people of Kpandai trusted him, and they bestowed that hope on him, and that verdict cannot be stolen. The verdict of the December 7th was to the effect that Honorable Hindem is the one the constituents want him to be represented. We will pass through the legal processes. We have already filed the appeal at the court. I am very positive that the appeal court, which is sitting with more than one judge, will definitely do the needful. I think that the High Court judge have erred in law, and many of the cases that they have seen, or the relief that they sought, or the case itself, the irregularities that they claim, there is a higher court ruling on that. The Supreme Court rule in Akufo-Addo and others, either signature, absence of signature, and other things cannot be invalidate any results. And that was a simple claim that they are doing. So it is going to be an interesting part from the court that the Supreme Court has a ruling on matters, and they think that the High Court can overturn that. It will be an interesting part that the appeal court will actually look like. But I'm very convinced that the appeal court will overturn the decision of the High Court, because the decision of the High Court, there was no thorough thinking through it, and it was kangaroo try. It was an animal farm ruling, and it is something that the appeal court will reject.
Habib, thank you very much for your time. Habib Iddrisu is MP for Tolon and Deputy Minority Whip in Ghana's Parliament. Let's go back to our last story where on this same matter,